Chicago Bears Now is presented by Manscaped. Want to stay nice and fresh? Men's grooming products from Manscaped going to help you do that. Below the waist grooming, above the waist grooming. You want to keep that beard nice and trim. They got products. Promo code Bears20 at manscaped.com for 20% off. All right, a couple of free agent rumors, free agents linked to Chicago from Pro Football Focus. We'll start with the big one. Yannick Ngakoue continuing to circulate these rumors as PFF's Brad Spielberger named the Bears as a team that should sign Ngakoue. Here's what Spielberger had to say, that the Bears made several free agent additions on the edge that should be solid against the run on early downs, but don't project to offer much juice to get after the opposing quarterbacks. Ngakoue does just that, and perhaps now Chicago should reach out to let him pin his ears back and hunt quarterbacks on a young defense. And look, he makes a good point. DeMarcus Walker and Rasheem Green aren't additions that should just be completely ignored. And Walker did have 7 sacks last year, so he's going to give you some pass rushing, but they're better run stoppers than pass rushers. You added Zacch Pickens and Gervon Dexter in the draft that are going to play interior. Andrew Billings, an interior free agent, but you need more pass rushers, period. You were dead last year in 20 sacks, and I don't expect this to be a unit that it's going to go from dead last to top 15 or anything like that, but get marginally better this year. Then maybe next offseason you've got more resources to put toward this position. The Bears have spent a lot of assets, money, draft capital, and improving other areas of the roster, but edge and pass rushing specifically, it hasn't been one they haven't that they have targeted to really take a big leap this year. But a guy like Ngakoue, he can help you in the near term. You know, I get if they don't view him as a long-term answer. There's a reason he bounces around, right? Like Jags, Vikings, Ravens, Raiders, Colts. I mean, that's not a coincidence. I think teams don't love him against the run. And, you know, his sack numbers could be a little bit inflated if you look at his pressure rate. But at the same time, 8 sacks every year in his career through 7 seasons. I mean, he's doing something right, and the Bears need guys who can get sacks, and Ngakoue can do just that. So leave your mark. Like the video if you want the Bears to sign Yannick Ngakoue. If you want them to bring him on board for 2023, hit that like button below. I would like to see it happen. I know a lot of you guys would as well. If you're one of them, hit that like button. Okay, how about George Fant as a potential swing tackle, or even maybe more? You never know how things are going to play out. PFF also linked Fant to Chicago after the NFL Draft. More from Spielberger here. He says, Chicago drafted Tennessee tackle Darnell Wright, number 10 overall, to solidify both bookends of their offensive line. Of course, Braxton Jones on the other side. But he says it could be a good idea to add a cheaper veteran swing tackle with familiarity to a wide zone rushing attack. Injuries derailed his, talking about George Fant's 2022 campaign, but the 7th-year tackle earned a career-high 75.1 pass blocking grade in 2021, playing almost exclusively at left tackle. His 3.2% pressure rate allowed was the 6th lowest among tackles on the season. When healthy, George Fant is a starting-level tackle in this league. Now, teams may not view him as that right now because he is still available, obviously, and he did have injury problems in 2022, but he's still young enough that at worst, I think he's a good swing tackle option. I do want to explore this a little bit more here in just a moment, but I want to tell you guys about the best men's grooming product when it comes to below-the-waist grooming out there. That is the Lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped, and we've got a discount deal for you guys when you use promo code BEARS20 at manscaped.com to get 20% off. Very easy to hold, very easy to trim downstairs, 4 adjustable guards. So if you want to, leave different length of hair depending on what your preference is, or maybe what your girl's preference is, the Lawnmower 4.0 allows you to do that. Advanced skincare technology just about eliminates those razor cuts, those burns as well. It's waterproof. You can use this in the shower. It's got a wireless charging station and a long battery life. Just a really advanced product. And Manscaped has worked really hard to improve this product over the years. That's why it's the 4.0. It continues to get better. Promo code BEARS20 at manscaped.com. Comes in this nice box as well. Easy to take this with you if needed. Promo code BEARS20. Check the link in the description of manscaped.com and the promo code of BEARS20 as well as in the comments. I do think all things equal, this offensive line is in a much better spot. I would feel comfortable with the veteran offensive tackle, though, for a couple of reasons. One, Braxton Jones is still just a second-year player, 5th-round pick last year. I think he did a nice job as a rookie, but who knows? Like, if he doesn't take the next step or if he doesn't or maybe he even takes a step back. He'd like to have more insurance. Is Larry Borum or Alex Leatherwood that? I'm not sure. Darnell Wright, I'm confident he's going to be a good player, but he is a rookie. It would be nice to have a guy like George Fant to come in here and provide insurance at worst. And if he had to play due to an injury or due to underwhelming play from Wright or Jones, maybe one of those guys isn't ready to perform, then he could plug in there and you can at least get a serviceable level of play out of him, if not more. I mean, if he played like he did in 2021, like I said, he's a starting caliber tackle. So I like this idea. Get him in here for like $2.5-3 million as a swing tackle. I think that would be a good thing for everyone involved. Should the Bears sign George Fant? Type S for sign or P for pass. I think there's a lot of pros to doing it. He knows the scheme. He's played at a high level in this league before. And, Borum and Leatherwood may not be the best fits, and they're still young players as backups. S for sign, P for pass. Let me know what you guys think. Was Zacch Pickens actually a steal in the 2023 NFL Draft? That's what we talk about next year on Bears Now. ESPN's Todd McShay did his annual steals for the draft, one player from each team. And surprisingly, he picked Pickens for the Bears because I think the narrative has been, they kind of reached a bit for Pickens and Dexter, but they did get great steals with other guys. So let's just hear what McShay had to say. He said, Matt Eberflus's defense relies on a good penetrating three technique up the middle, and that's Pickens. We're talking about a unit that totaled 20 sacks in 2022, last in the NFL. And while Pickens only had 2.5 sacks last season, his explosion, first step quickness, and power suggest he can be more disruptive than his numbers suggest. And we've talked about that quite a bit with Pickens and Dexter, is that they've got the athletic traits to be better pros than they were in college with proper coaching and schematic fits and just, themselves taking their game to the next level. Here's what I have found interesting over the last 72, 100 hours, whatever it is, since the draft has kind of wrapped up and, analysis has come out, is that national draft analysts seem to be higher on these two defensive tackle picks than a lot of us do. I gave the Dexter pick a C. I like the player. I thought it was a little early. Pickens C+. Like it a little more than Dexter based on where they got him in the draft, but still thought it was a little early. But here you have Todd McShay, who we don't have to agree with him. It doesn't mean he's always right, but a guy who is studied this stuff for years and decades at this point, and he's calling it the Bears steal of the draft when you've got a couple of other guys that would be deemed bigger steals. I just find it interesting. Obviously, we're all projecting at this point, but, let's not close the book on these guys and just assume they're not going to be good, because I think that would be a disservice to ourselves and to everyone involved. Subscribe to the channel. Bears offseason videos every single day. That is our promise to you. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. That way you never miss a video. So please do that if you haven't already. It's 100% free. Give us a chance. If you subscribe and a week from now you don't like our content, you can unsubscribe. No problem. No foul, no harm. It's 100% free. I've penciled Pickens and Dexter as backup defensive tackles for now. Justin Jones and Andrew Billings are, experienced veterans who have played in this league for a while. So I think, they're going to have to earn starting roles. They're not just going to unseat them right away. But the upside is there. Got to develop. I think Ryan Poles is putting a lot of faith in Matt Eberflus and his coaching staff to get the best out of these guys. And if they're able to do so, there's some real potential here in Dexter and Pickens. I do want to add that McShay also did mention this. He said, shout out to Chicago for grabbing Texas running back Rasheem Johnson in round 4 and Minnesota cornerback Terrell Smith in round 5. They both have upside. For me, Rasheem and Tyler Scott, the other 4th-round pick, those were my steals for the Bears. Tyler Scott was a projected 2nd-round pick for most, 3rd at worst. He goes late in the 4th. Rasheem, I saw mocks him going day 2 most of the time. Usually 3rd round, but sometimes 2nd. And, you see all these guys come out now saying, had he not played, behind Bijan Robinson, I mean, he would have, for sure, but a day 2 pick because he would have had even more production. But and then you hear about, the ravingness of his character. I mean, it's a great pick in the 4th round. I'm excited for that one. And Tyler Scott's explosive, man. He could take the top off of defense, so that one's going to be exciting as well. For you, who was your Bears steal of the draft? My 2, I gave 2. You can give 2 if you want. Tyler Scott, Rasheem Johnson, even Tyreek Stevenson to a certain extent. I thought he could go top 40. You got him at 56. So I do think the Bears did get really good value with multiple picks in this draft. Shout a name or two out in the comments. Who do you think was the steal this year? Couple just smaller news items I want to get to here. We've heard leaks about this for a couple of months. I think David Kaplan back in February mentioned it, but it's really kind of becoming obvious. The Bears and Chiefs are going to play in Germany. Ari Meroff says Bears, Chiefs, Saints, Patriots are expected to be the 2 games in Germany this upcoming season. German outlet Bild reports. Producer Coop's familiar with them because he's a big European soccer guy. AFC is the home team, which I like that. So the Bears don't actually lose a home game. They do lose a road game. It's a neutral site game in Germany, so that's kind of nice. Obviously, it's going to take a lot to beat the Chiefs, but I'd much rather play them in Germany than at Arrowhead. Full schedule release next Thursday, May 11th, by the way. We'll have a plan for that. I don't know if it'll be a live show. At worst, we'll release the schedule to you guys, but once it's out, we'll react to that. And then this news item as well, the International Pathway Program players were announced. The Bears get Roy Mbateka, I think I pronounced that right, Mbateka, one of those, 6'9", 320, pretty crazy athlete here out of Nigeria. Spent last summer with the Giants and appeared in 3 preseason games, was kind of bouncing in and out of the practice squad. But with him being considered international pathway, he doesn't count as a practice squad player. You get an extra slot for him. So he's got physical attributes. Who knows? With coaching, maybe he can become like a backup tackle in the league. I'm not going to sit here and say this guy's going to be playing left tackle in 2 years for the Bears, but you never know how these things are going to play out. So that is a news item as well. All right, guys, that's it. Appreciate you for tuning in today. Lots of videos to come that I've got planned out. Updated cut candidates following the draft. I got my 2024 Bears mock draft. So be on the lookout for that. If you have any video suggestions, hit me up on social media at HGram NFL on Twitter and on Instagram. Always down to take your guys' feedback as well and, of course, answer your questions. All right, guys, bear down. We'll see you soon.